Okay, guys.
Okay.
So a
Thank
few
thank
things.
you for our lessons. Thank you for mommy and for mama.
Steve
And thank you
Drapowski is
for
jumping on. Let me
the day you've given us today, and we got to play with bricks and we got to play with our cousins. We pray for a good night's sleep and that we wake up all rested and ready to go tomorrow. And whatever we do, we pray that Avery takes a nap tomorrow and that she doesn't throw any temper tantrums. And if she's a good girl, we also pray that Avery sleeps in her bed all through the night and does not
Do
come
you
in
know
the
when you're just playing games?
We pray that she's safe and she stays there and she sleeps through the night. We also like to pray for safe travels wherever we go tomorrow. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Oh, am I not muted? Dang it, I knocked it over.
No, I loved it. I was waiting. I couldn't interrupt the prayer. That was precious.
I'm so sorry.
I love it. That was great.
Good night, Avery baby.
Aw.
How embarrassing.
Night. Oh, I love it. Good night, sugar.
Can you say night night?
Aw.
I knew I knocked it over, but I didn't think I hit the mute button, the unmute button.
You're fine.
Continue, please.
Okay, so there are a couple things I want to go over before Steve jumps on at 9 o'clock. So, can you guys see me okay? Hear me okay? Okay. All right, so you know the groups that we have been doing this paper right here. The bookings, recruiting, host coaching, customer care, team inspiration, team new consultants, all of those groups that we've been doing.
Yes.
Well, I felt like we did an excellent job the first few months of it, and then we kind of have fizzled off a little bit with doing it. So I have something I want to run by you guys. This is something that Leslie Caperton, she's another executive, and she did a call for us. And if you are on the Nationwide Leader Call, she also shared it on there. So if you guys heard that yesterday, you already heard her idea about this, but she shared it with the executives as well. And basically, let me share my screen so you guys can see it, because I wrote it up here. Okay, so what she does is she does a calendar for her directors, all the days of the week, and each of the directors can go on and post which day of the week they would like to do. So, you know, just whatever day you feel like doing. So all Mondays are Monday motivation, something motivational, and maybe about reinforcing their why or how to get bookings, or the lifeline of their business. You know, first part of the month, we could do a booking blitz, anything that is going to give a little bit of motivation on Monday. So Monday motivation. So if you pick a Monday, then you would have something, you know, along that topic. If you pick a Tuesday, it's Tuesday tips. And this is over a specific topic, you know, like how to make the most of green dotting, or the current host special, or, you know, how to get an abundance of bookings, you know, just different tips, you know, maybe that you're trying in your business that are working. So Tip Tuesday, so you can sign up, you know, for a then we have Wow Wednesday. So Wow Wednesdays is basically, you know, share something. I wish you could see my dogs right now. They're laying on my papers down here on the floor. Wow Wednesday, just, you know, what is going great in your business? You can even throw out a question, you know, how are bookings going or whatever, but you're in charge of posting the Wow Wednesday and having them share what their wow is for the month. Thinking Thursday, out of the box thinking, share how they can get, you know, more bookings through social media posts, going live, recipe demos, new fabulous summer products, anything that just gets them thinking about an aspect of their business. Fun Friday, a fun, engaging post they can use in their virtual parties. So whether it's a fun new game, whether it's something that they can post, you know, for their hosts and their customers, anything that shows engagement and would be good for them to do on their own parties. Okay, so fun Friday. Saturday and Sunday are consultant spotlight. If you can see this, this is the image that we can use. And if you have a consultant on your team, or maybe it's even you, something that is going great in your own business, but I want to try to find consultants, maybe they just promoted to team leader, or maybe they have had some amazing sales. Maybe they had, their first $3,000 month and they just, are having some great success in their virtual parties. Whatever it is that you're like, man, there's just someone on my team that they're rocking and rolling right now, and I would love to have them as a spotlight. Okay, this is our chance to take some of those consultants, that maybe they didn't get, they don't get recognized, all the time, but there's some really great things going on in their business. And so what you would do on this post is you would ask your consultant, and they're more than welcome to even go live if they'd like to go live and share their tip, of success. But, you contacting them and saying, can you write up just a little paragraph about, how you're having success in this area, and the kind of tips and things that you're doing to find your success. And then you would share that on your day. So I don't know what you guys think about this idea, but I thought it was something fun. And really there are 30 of us, I think anyways. So really it would be you just picking pretty much one day a month to post whatever, topic it is. And I can keep this, I'll make up a calendar where we can sign up for the days. But what do you guys think about this?
Love it.
Melissa loves it.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Love it.
Sounds good.
Love it. Do you guys all like it? Let me get the whole view. Give me, you guys that are not on the camera. Seriously. Hey,
I
give me a
love
thumbs up if you like the idea. Okay. Zip it. He said thumbs down. He doesn't even know what we're talking about. So I think that this will be something fun because one, they're going to see all of you guys. They're going to hear something from all different leaders rather than, with some of the groups, we may have only heard from just a couple people here and there, so I think it'll just be great. And even the consultant spotlight one, I think that will be a great way for some of our consultants that are really shining, or maybe they have just something that just is going amazing, like just to really kind of put them on a pedestal and share, some tips with them. So I think that would be something that would be fun. So I will look at putting a calendar together, and we'll look at starting that on this next Monday. So I'll do the 10th through the 30th this time. So there won't be quite enough days for everyone, but that's okay because some people are not on this call. So it may take, a little bit to have everyone understand what in the world we're talking about anyways. So if each of you can at least sign up for a date when I put the calendar out, and then just be sure to, because there is no physical way that I could go on every day and go, okay, who was today? Did they remember to do it? So some sort of reminder so that you guys remember, because I will not remember to remind you to do it. So way too much other stuff going on. So now, if you guys have not seen yet, did you guys see the event that I created today about the call series that's going to be happening every Wednesday through June and July? This is going to be really cool, guys. I was asked by a couple of those executives to have our org included in this. And so I think it's going to be great. All of those leaders are absolutely outstanding. And what we are planning on doing is the topic that they are talking about for that week, they are going to address that topic the first 15 minutes, but then they're going to dive a little bit deeper into, okay, what are some of those? I'm supposed to be doing the bookings training one, but also I'm going to give some tips on host coaching, some tips on recruiting. So you're going to hear some of those things from all these leaders too. So they're going to be talking about the topic, but they're also going to be sharing some of their tips over the most important parts of our business. So it should be a really good call every week. And you're just going to hear some just different, because all of us do things differently. And so it'll just be a good, different variety of ideas for you guys to hear. So that'll be good.
I have a question, Melody.
Yes.
Sorry. Is that Facebook's just been ugly to me today. Is that just for directors, or is that for the total org?
Whole
Okay.
org. So I set up an event on Team PC Hotshots. The first call will be next Wednesday, and that's led by Melody Govig. And she is going to talk about, because she homeschools, so really her kids are there always, all the time. And she's going to talk just some about organizing and staying on top of things in the summer when you're crazy busy. So that's kind of her focus, just to kind of kick off the summer. And then the next week, I think I do the next week, followed by some booking tips. So how are we doing with our hashtag Toy Story in your personal groups this month? Is it going okay so far?
Yes.
Are people starting to catch on and starting to run with it?
I know in mine, last month was really busy at the beginning, and then after the 16th, it kind of dwindled down, and then I had a few, and it's been kind of a slow start this month, but they're still doing it. So
yeah. Did you do both of your drawings, Missy, last month? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys know that I started my personal page as well, so honestly, like what you guys are going through as far as, a few people commenting here and there, I'm basically starting over with my personal team group as well, just because I take that smaller portion of people. And honestly, not even everyone in my personal team will see when I try to tag people. Not everyone's even on there yet. Maybe even message people. I'm like, you're not even on Harper's Hotshots, and I'm recognizing you. And they're like, oh yeah, I need to get on there. So I'm still struggling, with that kind of stuff too. But what I'm finding, and I still have having to remind, because they'll go on the Team PC Hotshots, and I'm like, hey, remember to go do that on our page too, because that's where we do, that's where I do the drawing from. So, I'm still having to do the same thing you guys are, but I will tell you, I'm continuing to do the drawings, and I'm continuing to remind people, and it just picks up more and more. Okay. So that's the same kind of thing I used to have to do on Team PC Hotshots, 3 years ago, when I was the only one commenting. Okay. And, so it just takes a little bit of time, but the more consistent you are, you'll get it up and going. Okay.
I don't know if there's someone that would be good at graphics, but I remember kind of when kind of relating topic, when like the Pampered Chef virtual group, like just the original gigantic group, was first starting, and people were all over the place, and someone kind of made a cover photo, but an image that kind of said like, this is what is for this group, blah blah. I don't know if there was someone who could make something like, what I mean, because I think people just don't know where to post certain things. And a really simple thing like, training, oh, that's going to be on TPC Hotshots. Hashtag, oh, on your personal director group. You know what I mean? Just like a really simple graphic or something. But even just for clarification for directors too, if there's anyone who's good at visual graphics, I think that would really help a lot of people who kind of need that visual cue as well. That's not me. I'm not a good graphic maker. So I don't know if any of you guys are good at that, if that's your forte. But I think that would be a huge help. If, because again, some people you can tell them 10,000 times, but then you show them a graphic that says, like, this is Team PC Hotshot stuff. This is for your personal. It just kind of clicks.
I think that would be a good idea. And something if there is a graphic, we can pin it in the announcement section, and then we can pin it in the announcements on the director page.
I don't know how good I am at it, but I would try. I would be willing to try it if you want.
Hey, thanks, Pam.
Thanks, Pam. So maybe we just need to get Melody a list, kind of just like a really basic one-worded list of, these are the things for Team PC Hotshots versus the things for your personal page, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Just to help him out.
I want to remind all of you, some of you guys do a really good job about remembering to post your hashtag big ask. And then others I've never seen one from. So just remember, I do a drawing 2 times a month for you guys as well. So those of you that are new, do we have our two newest? I see Carrie. Do we? I don't see Stephanie on here. So we do need, so Carrie, since you're on here, let's give her a big, warm director welcome because she is our newest promoted director.
She got her red dress today.
Yep.
You got your red dress?
Yes.
Yay.
Amazon.
That's all. Girl, you're brave. I don't think I could ever order a dress on Amazon. I'd be a little frightened.
I was worried.
Does it fit?
It does.
Awesome. Yay. That's so cool. So on just posting your big ask, have you guys started doing that on your personal team pages yet as well?
I don't do it on mine. I only have one person that's participating in anything.
That'll change, Pam.
So I told them, you know, I've posted and I tell them every time, but generally, basically, Tammy wins everything.
Jamie's going to keep winning until you get more people on there. I mean, I was asking even even on my page, I was like, well, I guess this person's going to win again, you know, but I mean, until you get, now that I'm getting new people on there, it's just training them. Okay, keep posting, and they'll get it. And then it'll start changing. So I just know that it takes a few months, you know, to get going. And Pam, as you get people on, that will change for sure. So
I hope so.
it will.
I like Tammy and all, but she's getting all my goodies.
All right, guys. So Steve should be jumping on here in just a minute. A little bit of background about why I'm having Steve jump on here. Steve and we talk a lot. He is someone that is a late nighter. And so he messages me late at night a lot and says, hey, you up? Hey, you know, we just ask each other questions and different things. So I asked him one night, I said, what do you do to help your new directors stay strong? Because he doesn't really lose any directors. And he said, well, this is going to take more than just typing back and forth. Do you want to have a call tomorrow? So I said, yeah, sure. And so we talked on the phone, and the stuff that he shared with me, it really hit me and stuck with me. And I think he's going to share most of it with you. But Steve is someone that he's now a national executive, and he has went to national very, very quickly. And so is his team. And his team his directors are very successful. And I just want him to share with what he is doing with his directors, that they are having such strong, like guys, for instance, it's only the 6th day of the month and they already have over 60 something thousand for their organization.
Wow.
Okay. By the 15th, they usually already have 20 something directors active. Okay. So he is definitely doing things right in his organization, and he's really helping his directors be strong. And so he is going to jump on and let you guys know what it is that he does, because some of the stuff that he told me, I was just like, it just really clicked with me and it made sense. And so he knows our organization, he knows our success, and he said, Melly, this, you know, you guys can be a national team next year, you know. And so he really knows how to help that fast-paced recruiting growth. And that's some of the stuff that I want him to share with you once he jumps on here. I'll message him. Oh, it's just now 9 o'clock, so. Oh, but he hasn't seen I sent him the Zoom link, but he hasn't seen it yet. So hopefully he sees that. Make sure he saw it. So, he saw it now. So he should be getting on in just a second. Is it raining where you guys are? Because it's downpouring here. Like flooding across the streets, downpouring here.
It was bad this morning here. Like road closures and roads have deteriorated. Like they have to rebuild the roads. It's bad.
Oh, no.
Drop it.
Wow.
Yukon got it worse. Like 6 inches in 2 hours.
Ugh.
We have all kinds of flooding going on here in Louisiana, and it finally stopped, and it's supposed to start again tonight and go all the way through tomorrow. We've got a ton of road closures, and my yard was the only one that had green grass this morning. Everybody else was a pond.
Hi, Steve.
So, note to myself: the kitchen clock on the stove is not right. I was like, oh, it's 9:56, and I was like, oh, no, it's not. It's 10:02. So sorry about being late.
It's 10 o'clock, by the way, guys, where he's at. So when he's contacting me and it's like 11:30 my time, it's 12:30 his time. So he's even a later night owl than I am.
Yep.
Okay, Steve, I already told them how amazing you are and shared with them about you. So they already know all your good stuff. So.
Okay, great. I just jump right in. All right. Well, so these are all leaders, right?
Yes, all of these
Oh
are
my gosh.
directors.
There's a lot of people. Way to show up for your business on a Thursday night. Woohoo! That gets us first one of these, right? Okay. So, guys, so tonight I'm really going to be talking about creating culture with your teams, no matter how big or small, and some things that we have done with our organization to do that, and really, as a result, create the momentum that has led to our insane growth, going from 1 director to 30 in just a year. And
Oh. Hold on, Steve.
I got it.
Okay, thanks. I tried to mute all, and then I realized that I muted you too. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So I'm just gonna go over that tonight, really. So my first question, you guys can just like wave your hands. How many of you are happy with your Pampered Chef team and your business and where it is, where it is, what you're making, etc.? How many are you happy where you are? Okay, there's a couple people that are. Let me see. Let me scroll. Keep your thumbs up or your hands waving. Are you happy where you are? Wave it out. Okay. Do you want more? Wave it out if you want more. Everybody's like, oh yes. Okay, good. I was like worried. I was like, everybody just want to stay where they are. That's
I
okay.
don't know how to wave or put a thumbs up.
But if you want more, guys, it starts with yourself. Okay. How do you create the culture for all the things that happen with your organization or team, again, no matter how big or small, so that you really move to advanced director, you move to senior director, you move to executive, up the career plan as high as you want to go, right? You lead by example, okay? Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the speed of the leader, right? You, each and every one of you, the speed of the leader determines the pace of the pack, okay? I recently read an article that compared the world of direct selling and leadership to that of the relationship between a conductor and his or her orchestra players. I'm a former theater nerd, so this like really spoke to me, but hopefully it comes across in terms of what I'm gonna go over. Our role as leaders and creating a culture, the culture that we want for our team. So maybe right now, you feel like you're the only one recruiting, right? I was there, okay, totally was there in January of 18. Maybe you're thinking you really want to blow it up. How do you create that, right? How do you really kind of create a group of strong sellers, right? It really starts with us, okay? And this article breaks it out into 8 different steps. First of all, the conductor, you, starts with a plan, okay? A conductor starts with a musical score and a clear idea of how it should sound. Only then do they attempt to create it in real time, this musical vision, right? And share it with other people. 2, the conductor recruits the best players. Here's the thing, great conductors attract great people, and mediocre conductors attract mediocre ones, okay? The very best players want to work for the very best conductors because like attracts like. 3, the conductor is visible so that everybody can see him or her. The conductor stands on a platform so that every single member of the orchestra can see him or her. This is the only way the orchestra can stay in alignment with each player starting and stopping at the appropriate time. So think about that goal you want to accomplish, right? You want to get from here to there. All of your team has to be in the same movement, right? Or it will never happen. All the pieces have to be in place. 4, the conductor leads with his or her heart. And some of you may know me, maybe not, but I'm very much so this kind of guy. Get it done, and very not so much this part. But what I've learned is it's a dance between this and this. And different people respond to either of those things. Okay? Great conductors are swept up in the music. They're passionate. They don't just play with their head, they play with their heart, and you can read it all over their face. You can sense it in their movement, right? They are fully present and playing full out, and they are truly, truly invested. 5, the conductor delegates and focuses on only what he or she can do. How many of you would love to do everything for your teams because you know the quality of your work and you get the job done? I would, okay? It's like when you're in a group project in college and you're stuck with all these boneheads that don't know what they're doing and don't know how to edit, and everybody's assigned a different task, and you hope that it all comes together and the paper's decent in the end, but you end up redoing everything because you know that you can do it better, right? The conductor doesn't do everything. He doesn't sell the tickets. He doesn't participate usually in the preliminaries. He doesn't even make sure the orchestra is in tune. The concertmaster does that. He or she stays off stage until it's only time for him to do what he can do, or she, which is lead. Okay, 6, the conductor is aware of his gestures and their impact. A conductor can't afford to make an unintentional gesture. So think about your Facebook walls. Think about Twitter if you have it. Think about if you have a blog or whatever you post, okay? Everything means something, right? The flick of a wrist, the raising of an eyebrow, and the closing of the eyes all have meaning. And a good conductor can't afford to be careless with his or her public demeanor. 7, the conductor keeps his or her back to the audience. Conductors are aware of the audience, but their focus is on the players and their performance. Otherwise, guys, the rest of that mess is just noise. So think about like comparing yourself to other people. Okay, you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, you should stay in your lane and figure out how to best serve your team and yourself in business and blow it up to get what you want. The only time the conductor stops to acknowledge the audience is before the playing begins and after it is finished. Other than that, he or she is focused on delivering an outstanding product through serving the players, in this case, your teams. And 8, and probably most importantly, the conductor shares the spotlight. When the concert is over and the audience is clapping, the conductor turns to the audience and takes a bow, yes, right? A good conductor, however, immediately turns to the orchestra and invites them to stand and bow as well. He or she shares the glory with his colleagues, realizing that without them, without your teams, right, every day, day in, day out, the music, the product, what you want to achieve would not be possible. To me, guys, these concepts embody exactly what it means to lead by example in terms of action and mindset to create the culture that we want for our teams. We create a vision so clear for our teams to chase after. We provide them the tools to be successful. We actually do what we want our teams to do and don't just talk the talk. And we maintain a positive attitude when our team members are below the line, playing in the mud. So let's talk about some specifics for leading by example, okay? Your personal business really is the heartbeat of any goal and vision you set for yourself and your organization, and truly where culture is born. And guys, when I onboard new consultants, the first thing I say to them is, you know what? Direct sales can get a bad rap, and I get that. But what I want you to know is that I personally sell X amount, and I personally welcome X amount of people every month because I want to set the example for what you, a new consultant coming in the door, can achieve if you follow my lead. Okay? Your personal performance each month should set the bar for how high your team members can reach and stretch themselves to get more from their business more quickly. And I'm talking new consultants, but I'm talking people that have been around for a while maybe, that have been doing the same thing forever. Are you setting an example that they have been basically following for however long they've been in this business? Because they see what you're doing and they say, well, Melody does that, So I can do that, just that, and that's fine. I don't have to do more. Imagine what that person could do if they saw you blowing up and having crazy success because you're committed to a strong personal business. Okay? So what does this look like, guys? If you are an all virtual leader, you should aim to book 16, yes, 16 shows every single month for a week. Some of you are like, what? Say what? I find that normally 3 to 4 of them will not hold or qualify. And if we're super conservative and assume all those remaining 12 shows will hit $200, that leaves you with $2,500 in sales. And while directors are required to only submit $750 of that $5,000 paid title each month, right? You and your leader should not work to minimums. Okay? Your goal each month at a minimum should be to submit $2,500 in sales. And we'll talk about, yes, I know that oftentimes shows are much more than $200. And I'll talk about how that looks in terms of what I've taught my directors. And if you're doing a mixture of in-home and virtual, you should book 8 virtual and 4 in-home a month. And if all in-home, that whole 8 will make you great mentality that Pampered Chef has pushed forever will still suffice, okay? When you are submitting a minimum of $2,500 in sales, you are leading by example and inspiring your team members to do more, to be more, to have more, okay? And this will also put you in front of enough people, guys, so that you have a larger pool of folks to share the opportunity with. So this is really something I want you to pay attention to. A best practice that I follow and have taught my leaders to follow is the goal of being director green by 15. Now, does it always happen? Of course not, okay? But like with anything, when we lead by example, others are likely to follow. I stress to my leaders the importance of front-loading their calendars in the first 2 weeks with the majority of the parties they book each month. By doing this, guys, they have a clearer picture of where their team stands and how close they are to being paid at their title by the 15th, okay? Some of them may be really close, some of them may be done already, okay? And some may realize, well, I have a couple of my parties were done and I have to book some more shows. Or I need to make sure that I'm really supporting my team members who have shows to make sure they're the best shows so that we're paid at title, okay? So those first 2 weeks, front load the shows. The third week, then you can be really intentional about recruiting conversations, identifying leads, and most importantly, supporting your team and setting them up for success in the next month. Because I think sometimes, like, in a perfect world, we would be intentional and purposeful all the time, but like, y'all probably have kids. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have like a yard. I don't have any of that stuff, but you guys have probably those things. So it's really hard if you don't block out the time to focus on supporting team members. It just is willy-nilly versus, intentional. And I'm telling you, the willy-nilly conversations are not fruitful. Okay, there's no return on investment from those conversations, not necessarily. There's no takeaways for that consultant. Okay, they're like, oh, so-and-so messaged me randomly, I'm at the grocery store, versus a scheduled time to talk to them and find out how their month is going and how their next month looks. And then the fourth week, I have them have as many shows booked as they do the first and the second week, so that then, guys, if they're paid at their title by the 15th, they are holding that entire last week of shows to start the month with at least $1,000 or $2,000 in sales. We were done our third month of our national promotion, 24 directors. We were done with our national promotion by the 20th of this last month. That's insane. And I'm not saying it to be anything about me. I'm just saying I have taught them to do this. They finally got it, why it's important. And right now, I think I was telling Melody earlier, we already have $64,000 in sales in organization-wide. Of our 31 directors, 7 of them are halfway to being green. On what is it, the 6th, 7th? Okay, this is by being intentional about when you're offering booking dates, saying, okay, I have these 2 dates open in the first 2 weeks of the month, front loading them first. You don't let a host dictate when their party's happening. I tell them when their party's happening. I have these 2 dates open, which do you want? If they say, oh, well, I actually want to do, well, I'm actually only booking for these 2 dates, and my calendar is really, really tight. So if you want to earn double rewards in June, you probably just want to take the date that I have, not myself. Okay? All right. Does that make sense? We'll have quick question time at the end. So in terms of recruiting, guys, your goal at a minimum, you've heard this from Melody 8 ways to Sunday, I'm sure, but you should be trying to recruit two people each month. I highly encourage you to set your sights higher, because when we do, we will likely hit at least the minimum. I set my recruiting goal every month for 5, because as we all know, we will recruit one person for every 12 to 15 we talk to. It's just like parties, right? Every 12 to 15 people we ask, we will get one party booked. So that means I need to be in a big pool of people to have enough people to ask to get those 5. And if I don't get those 5, I'm definitely getting the 2. I already have 3 this month. And it's what, the 6th? Okay. So back in January of 18, as I mentioned before, at that time I really questioned our team recruiting culture. Why was I the only one recruiting? But at the same time, I made a big decision. And this could be scary for you guys, and I get it, but if you don't do it, you'll never ever go work towards what you want to achieve. Okay? I thought to myself, what is something that I can challenge my team to achieve that will seem impossible in the moment, but propel them to do more and create momentum? I decided that we would promote to an executive team in 2018. Developing this culture, right, would make it more likely for future leaders to emerge, which would help us build upon the structure needed to qualify as an executive team. As you know, guys, an individual working towards directorship needs to have a strong personal business and feel comfortable sharing our business opportunity. Doing these simultaneously, like with a new consultant, that can be super tough, right? One thing that I do and I've taught my leaders to do is to encourage all new team members on our first coaching call, onboarding call, to stretch themselves in their first 30 days with Pampered Chef. So on my first call with someone, I just had one tonight, I asked them what their monthly income goal is. And guys, people are afraid of failing. I was when I signed up less than 3 years ago, okay? Thinking, that's actually, I waited an entire year to sign up when I've had my first conversation with Stacey Itzel, because I had always started things, oh, I'm gonna lose weight, and then I would share it with somebody. Oh, I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna share it. And then I never did anything with it. I was afraid to put that out there, so I never signed up for a whole year. These people that take a chance and sign up, they don't want to fail, believe it or not. Okay, so when someone says to me and they lowball themselves and I just want to make $200 in fun money, I say to them, you know what? $200 in fun money is really easy in this team, and I want to show you that you can make 4 times that if you just follow my lead. Because you may realize after that first paycheck that you get, that maybe the effort you put in, that's maybe it was just more than you really signed up to do. And that's okay. Then do your $200 a month in commission. Get that. That's fine. But I want you to know what is possible. So you trust me for 30 days. We give it a real push. And then we reevaluate at the end of the month and we figure out how you feel. And I'm telling you right now, once they make that $1,000 a month, they don't want anything less than that. Okay? If you are confident in your ability to support them as a leader when you're onboarding them, it's just like with host coaching, right? When you're the authority on what the host needs to do to have a great show, when you're the authority on a new consultant and what they need to do to have a great launch for their business, they listen to what you say, as long as you tell them why you're having them do the things you're having them do, which is what I just explained. I want you to see what you can make in your first month, what's possible, and then if you want to scale it back, that's okay. But partner with me in these first 30 days so I can really help you rock it, make a bunch of commission, get that signing incentive back, which I know that you really want, and then we can really reevaluate what your priority is with your Pampered Chef business. Okay? With this practice in place, my new consultants are qualifying in 2 weeks. Okay? I have found that this immediate success is empowering to them and it makes them feel capable and supported. They really do feel that they can do more, right? And they're around the middle of the second month in the company. So during the onboarding process, we have a series of 4 calls. I do talk about the fact that our team is a team that sells and recruits, and it's not an option. Okay? So our name is Steve and Joseph Selling and Recruiting Rockstars, and so knowing going forward, like you may not know what you're doing if somebody wants to sign up, but you better believe they're going to sign up because we want to share this business with as many people as possible. Okay? So we have that first call. I talk about fast tracking, right? A little bit. I don't go into it too much because they're just getting acclimated, right? And then once they have that success in their first 2 weeks, they come to me and they want more. They feel like, okay, well, I trusted Steve, I did what Steve said. It actually happened, what he said would happen. And so now I want, what else can I have? What else can I achieve? How much more can I have? Right? So my point about an individual needing to have a strong personal business and feel comfortable sharing the opportunity to promote to director. Guys, at the 1.5, like really the 1 month, 1.5 month mark, they already have half the puzzle completed. We've set their show schedule up so that they are booking in the next month, they feel good about it, and then we can focus on helping them welcome new team members. This mentality truly kickstarted our fast-paced recruiting growth, really just the creation of momentum, right? That continued all of last year into this year with a total of last year of 18 director promotions, 14 of which were fast track. Clearly, the more people working towards promoting, the greater your monthly recruiting will be. And guys, in my 3 years with Pampered Chef, I have only lost 3 directors, ever. And I've only ever had 33 total. So the retention rate is really high, okay? And I really attribute it to the fact that I have cultivated strong sellers who I then empower to recruit people, and I challenge them and teach them to make sure they're paid at their level or close to it by the 15th of the month. And the way I look at that is like, do you want to be stressed up until the last day of the month? I don't want to be stressed for you. So why wouldn't we set this up so that you are feeling great about where you are on the 15th and be intentional about loading your calendar up front versus, and really, really driving your business, right, versus running to catch up to it. Because guys, running gets exhausting. Driving can be in cruise control, okay? And you can choose in driving to go faster or slower, right? Eventually with running, you're gonna get tired no matter how fast or slow you're going. And you're gonna stop and you're gonna quit, right? So this really has allowed us to blossom into what has happened in just a year and a half. I think that's pretty much it. Was that everything you wanted me to hit, Melody? Anybody have any questions? Well, there are some questions in the chat, so let me just. And I know I talk fast, but she's recording this, so you're good to go. I can't do a thumbs down on here about my team because I don't see a thumbs down to post. My team doesn't care to sell above what they have to remain active. Oh, that was privately. Whoops. Oh, there's a bunch of privates. Okay, these are all private. I'll get to Susan, your question in a second. Break that down. If they join mid-month or end of month, still a buttload of shows first 2 weeks and adjust later down the road. Exactly. Yep. I push them to get 4 shows booked each of the first 2 weeks of their business. I did a fast track and no parties now. I can't lead them when I can't lead myself. Kayla, how involved are you with your new consultant on their first parties? Kayla, how involved are you with your new consultant on their first parties? If it's all about it's all about the vibe I get from them on the call. Like if I feel like they're, and this is terrible, if I feel like they're like gonna need a little extra help, then I will offer to run the launch party. But if I feel that they would benefit and be empowered by running it themselves, then I will. You have to be you have to kind of like, you have to be intuitive about that. You have to really look at them and see, would they benefit from running their first party themselves, or would it benefit them and me to be running the first party so that they kind of get more comfortable.
Hey, Steve, could you go into a little bit about like what you shared with me as far as when you're training your new consultants, how many shows you encourage them to have each week and in a month, you know, even just starting out, you know, to help them feel success from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely encourage them to book 4 shows each week, the first 2 weeks. And, you know, I make it very clear, I make it very clear that they should be tracking the contacts they make using the green dotting language, because, you know, oftentimes the bookings will come the 2nd, 3rd, 4th follow-up time. So they're leaving money and bookings on the table if they don't take the time to follow up and track that. And then, you know, and then after those first 2 weeks, then we, like I said, we reassess and we figure out, you want to keep making this amount of money? If so, you need to do this. Are you okay? Like, do you want to step back a little bit? Was that a lot for you? Like, do you really just want to be more of a hobby consultant? Because we need all kinds of consultants on our team, right? Not everybody's going to sell $5,000 a month. But I want to show them that they can make that much money and do that many shows. They're capable of it, just even though they're new. And then we have the conversation on a coaching call where I say, okay, so here's how everything went out. You did this much in sales. You know, we had this many recruit leads. You booked this many parties. Like, are you excited about this? Do you want to keep going at this pace? Or do you want to, you know, here's what you initially said to me on our first call that you wanted to do. is that, and normally I won't have them say that they want to go backwards. I mean, sometimes people do, and that's okay. But I do tell them 4 shows the first 2 weeks of the business. Was that I think that's what you wanted me to share, right?
Yeah.
How involved are you with you? I said that. Do you only have 2-day parties? No. My parties are 7 days. 7 days, 16 posts a day in groups. Yep. 2-day part. For me, 2 days is not enough. 1 day, 1 hour, no way. Can't do it. Not enough time. Because my job is to create, my job is to show them what they know they need and to create the desire for what they didn't know they need. And I need a full 7 days to do that. Anybody else?
You guys can also unmute yourself and ask a question if you want to. This is your chance to ask him about onboarding new consultants he has done tons and tons and tons of virtual parties if there's something that you're wondering about.
Can you tell me about those 16 posts a day? Because like I used to do 12 or 13 and I do a survey at the end of my party and I kept getting a lot of feedback that it was too much for people to keep up with.
Yeah.
So I only do 6 now and I post them to like two of them I post right together so they only get notified like 4 times. But tell me about how this 16 works because
yeah,
that feedback I was getting,
I always do 16.
Yeah. So basically I do 16, 4 at 8 a.m., 4 like 8 a.m., 8:01, 8:02, 8:03, right? 4 at noon, 12, 12:01, 12:02, 12:03, 4 at 5 o'clock, and 4 at 9 o'clock. Because in the morning they're checking their phones, getting breakfast ready, getting the kids together, whatever. 12 o'clock they're checking their phone if they can't have their phone out at work, so they're on it there. 5 o'clock they're so excited to get out of work, so they're on their phone in their car. And then 9 o'clock they're getting ready for bed or winding down, and I want them to think about me and Pamper Chef when they go to sleep. So 4 posts a day. It only really ends up being 4 notifications because if you batch post like that, they only get 4. And I do every other day I have a post that reminds them why I'm posting a lot and how they can unfollow my posts if they think it's annoying. Because what happens is a lot of those people that end up perhaps unfollowing my posts, right? And they still will initially have commented or engaged on the first day or two. And what I do on the very second to last day of my parties is something, it has a terrible name, but it's called shame tagging. It's called shame tagging. Anyway, so I pull up all of the orders in the party on the Consultant's Corner, and I cross-reference them with every single person that commented on anything in the party. So tagged a friend, commented on a game, commented on the product. And if they did not order, but they commented, they are fair game to call out and tag with the link to order. Okay? If you can play, you can pay. That's my opinion. So I might tag on a comment and say, at Melody, there's 2 days left to order to support Sarah. Party ends 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the link. Like I do have a person every now and then that'll be irritated that I called them out, but 99% of the time people are like, oh my gosh, thank you, I forgot. And those people that unfollowed the party because they were annoyed at the number of posts usually still want to purchase to support their friend. They just don't want to engage. So this way they have unfollowed, they didn't leave the group, but I'm tagging them, calling them out. Like I did this yesterday for my parties that end today. I have 7 ending today. Literally, I saw $650 in orders come in 2 days from this tagging. People need to be reminded, right? People are inherently lazy. That's just real talk.
So did I understand that you tag everyone who has not ordered but is a member of the group?
Yes, but so I tag them individually. So like say that you, Angela Campbell, commented on a Family Feud game. I would reply to your comment of whatever, like cheese, and I would say, at Angela Campbell, just 2 days left to order to support Melody. Party ends 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and put the link. You don't want to put everybody in a big one and tag everybody because then they seem like a transaction versus a valued customer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep. Can I join one of your How do you balance 7-day parties on back-to-back weeks? Do you have days that have you overlap? No, so my parties are Friday to Thursday. Right now, Friday, people say that the day you start your party doesn't matter, but Friday and Saturday are right now, by research, are the busiest days on social media for engagement. So my pre-party days are Friday, Saturday, and then I dive into product Sunday through Thursday. The last day of Thursday is my favorite things. So, and then in the middle, there's like baking day, stonemart day, pageant day, what's new day, right? So they have a complete experience, right? Pre-party, lots of fun and games, engagement. That continues in the meat and potatoes, and I close by sharing that, oh, by the way, I'm a real person and I use these products in my house, and here are my favorites. Right? People will buy Pampered Chef in spite of us. They will join our team, book a party, or say, I want Debbie as my Pampered Chef lady because of us. So you got to add that authentic part in there during the entire experience. So then, for example, I had parties end tonight, and then I have 10 starting tomorrow.
When you tag and say, the party in 2 days, how many do you do in a row?
Oh, so you don't get blocked?
Yes.
You normally want to do
want it being Facebook, Joe.
I was in there yesterday actually for a day, and it was all right. It was actually nice. It was like a little bit of a break. But yeah. So I will only do like 2 parties at a time, and then I'll take a break and do something else. And then I'll maybe 20 minutes will go by, and then I'll start doing it again.
So you do it the second to the last day?
Yep.
Tag?
Because I want them to be enough time for them to get those orders in. Can I join one of your parties? I will add Melody to a past party, and Melody can add people to the party. I cannot manage that. Are you all? I've been in Facebook jail since Tuesday. Yeah, there was something weird with Facebook. It said that there was like a security concern, and I couldn't like or comment on anything, which was fine because it was a day, whatever. It was a break. Anybody else?
I just like your conductor story and how you use that.
Thanks. It's not mine. It's something I found, but I think it's, when you think about it, right? Like when I think about us, we would never be where we are. Like literally, you got to have 24 people paid out their title 3 months in a row. Like without these other folks, it would not have happened. So no matter the size of your team, if you're a director and you have 6 team members, every single one of those people are important and integral. Yes, some of them don't perform every month, but yes, we spend most of our time with our performers and our very new people, but everybody contributed to get us where we are now at some point.
Right.
And if people want, to drop off, that's okay. But it's our job to really try to inspire people to want to stick around. Understanding that they are a part of something else, no matter how big or small your team or organization is, and that you are setting the example from the top.
Absolutely.
Kayla, thank you. Do you have specific days or times that you do other tasks? Do you have specific days or times that you do other tasks? Well, I use Google Calendar, so I will, whenever I have a host coaching task, I have a reoccurring weekly thing at noon, because let's keep it real, I don't get up till 11, which is bad. I gotta get out of that. It's bad. Okay. So 12. So I normally will set a reminder, send daily host coaching message, send their daily post or whatever. Or when I'm closing parties, I'll have a time blocked off for that or whatever. So yeah, I definitely block off the time that I do different things. Now, do I always do it at that time? No, but I'm much more likely to do it if I actually have something that reminds me to do it. I'll do it soon after. I could listen to this for hours. That's nice. Thank you. I'm personally sick of myself talking. Kayla Ford, in general. Kayla Ford, coaching to consultants. Oh, coaching to consultants, updating org page, VIP consultants. No, host coaching for sure. I have a really intentional system. I have systems for really everything. Coaching to consultants. Yeah, I have time blocked off for all of that. Yeah. Updating the org page really just happens whenever I find the time to do it. That sounds terrible, but it's the truth. VIP page, no, I don't have a VIP page. Yeah. Anybody else?
I really enjoyed how you said to have them all book at the first of the 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's really, and it's so funny because some people that were so against that now are like having the highest sales months as a team they've ever had, and they're like, oh my gosh, you were right, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I told you that like 3 months ago. Like, get it together. Like, I don't just talk to you for fun. Like, I'm telling you for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, like if you have leaders, you have to just, I mean, some people you have to. I think for me, the biggest thing that has been helped in people actually doing this is, again, some people absorb information in a different way than other people. And it's different sometimes than us. So we have to think about when we are going about unpacking this 2-week front loading thing, and here's why, da 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 da. We really have to cater it to the person that we're dealing with. Because people perceive the things that people are saying and telling them to do all different kinds of ways, right? So we really need to go into it thinking, okay, this is Samantha. Samantha and I have this kind of relationship. She best performs when I engage with her in this way. So I need to tailor this concept to a way that Samantha's going to be like, oh, okay, I get that. That sounds like something I should do. Versus you just saying, Samantha, do it, right? And that was a shift for me because I was always like a get it done. Like, why aren't you doing this? Versus really understanding the personality I'm dealing with and trying to unpack it in a way that was specific to them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
She's like, I know what you're talking about.
I do.
Know.
See, even Steve as a national still has people that can be difficult to deal with.
Like literally like a half hour before I got on this call. Like I literally had a call with a couple of directors and I was like, okay, y'all don't have to be friends, but you have got to work together because you're tied at the hip no matter where he's like. So listen, this is a national, doesn't mean I'm not having the same issues that y'all are. I also don't have parties that qualify, which people think I'm like a magical unicorn that everybody books a party that I breathe on, which is not true. Okay. So, you can easily get to where you want to go as long as it's really all about that culture, like I said, creating the culture. Anybody else? I don't think so. Hopefully this was helpful.
It was, Steve.
Very helpful. Thank you.
No, I think it was wonderful. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I know Kayla had that problem last month with people waiting to get qualified at the end. So that's why I like about the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. And it's really, guys, it's really like again, with host coaching, whatever, when we tell them why it is beneficial for them to do it, it then becomes different than you telling them what they need to do and you investing in their success every month, right? Because sometimes I think when we're reaching out to our consultants even and our leaders, we're like, it's like we're checking a box, right? Like, are you going to be green? Like, what's the deal? People don't like that. They don't want to be treated like a notch on your board, right? So you have to come at it in a way, just like with everything else in this business, of giving of yourself and saying, I have this idea that works because I learned it from so-and-so, right? And I want to see if we can try this so that you aren't going to the end of the month last month, every month and being stressed about being paid at your title. Let's try this and see where it is. Versus saying, you need to do this because you're not being paid at your title until the last day of the month and it's annoying me. That's what the subtext is. But that's not what we're actually saying. So.
Well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Sure. This is like my prime time. This is when I'm the most awake. So.
We still have another 2 hours before we start chatting though. So.
That's true. I'm supposed to meet my friend tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and I was like, girl, I got a big pot of coffee. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I'll add Melody to a party, and she can add you. I mean, I would prefer you not to like comment and stuff because it'll be over. It'll be weird. But she'll add you to those.
Absolutely. Well, I have a couple more things, Steve, that I'm going to chat with them about, but I really do appreciate you coming on here and giving your advice and your tips. So
sure.
You're a rock star, and so I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to go back to off screen here. Okay, a couple things that I forgot before he hopped on here. Kayla brought up a good point she asked me, what does that mean for the new consultant training that still is going to happen every Wednesday group that, you know, some of you did sign up for. And so that is one group that is not going away. We're still going to have new consultant training. Okay. So maybe that is something where you can get with her and offer to run that. So we're just doing it the same thing, you know, every Wednesday, the same training within the group, which is just kind of the bookings and getting your calendar booked. And so I think that, you know, just even listening to what Steve said, guys, when he told me that, when I asked him why your directors, how, you know, how they have success and how they continue on and are strong, he told me, he said, it is not so much what I'm doing with once they become directors, it's what I did when they became new consultants. And I was like, oh, yeah, that does really matter. You know, and so think about these new consultants that you are bringing on. If you are encouraging them from the get-go, sending them the message, and if you guys have not seen the new consultant training, guys, it is at the top of our Harper Director page in the announcements. The very first thing in the announcements is what, besides what's happening in the month, okay, is onboarding new consultants. Okay, and the very first thing is the message that even before you have a call with them, they start sending out this message to people to try to get parties booked, you know, 2, 3, 4 parties booked by this date. Okay, before I even have that first call with them to get to know them. And, you know, then it talks, on that training, it talks about call number 1, call number 2, and call number 3. Okay, I know that Sarah was on my call number 2 this last week, you know, where I walked one of her new consultants through training, you know, and just getting them set up for a successful party. That's what it is. Getting them set up, getting their calendars booked, teaching them how to talk to their hosts is so important. Because if you can train them on how to have strong host coaching, okay, then they're going to have good parties, most likely. Okay, so onboarding new consultants, guys, is huge, because imagine if they had 3 or 4 or 5 strong parties in a month, they're going to feel success. My last 4 that I have trained have all had between $1,500 to $2,000 their very first month. And they feel success. And so you know what? Now they're ready to fast track. They're excited, you know, because they feel success. So now they feel like they can accomplish something else. If they have 2 parties, one barely qualifies and one flops, and they don't feel success, why would they want to continue? And why would they believe you when you tell them now they can fast track? Okay? They need to feel success in order to feel more success. Okay, so think about getting them that message right away as soon as they join your team to start booking parties.
Melody, can I stop you?
Yes.
That happened to me, and if it wasn't for Tamara Rowland helping me through that, I had the worst month when I first started, and she talked to me every day to keep me motivated. Like, I had a very rough time getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she knew I was about to quit.
Yep.
And she wouldn't let me.
And see, imagine if she wasn't persistent, though, where you would be.
Yeah, because I'm doing great now.
Yes, you are. You're doing amazing. But it just took you having some success to realize, wow, I really can do this.
Yes, exactly.
So I think that, guys, I'm telling you, these people that are going, you know, from, Steve to national, executive to national, 6 months, you know, so there are so many people that are having that kind of success right now, you know. And I was talking to Melissa the other day, and we were talking about, you know, how I got 4 category achiever in excellence. And I struggled last year, guys. I struggled. I had lots of health issues. and I really struggled, and she was saying, but look, you said you struggle, but you still got it. And I said, that's because from January to May, I've been working my tush off. Okay. And that's 5 months, guys. Okay. So you can change your business around in 5 months. If I wouldn't have made a conscious decision in January to do something different in my business, I would not have earned but maybe one category, maybe. Okay. And that could have just been the org sales because of you guys. Okay. So I decided to do something in my business that was different. And it's going to take maybe 5 to 6 months to see the difference. But I promise you, if you start onboarding your new consultants properly, and you start, like he was talking about, being the conductor and being the example. Okay. If they see you not booking parties, and you not having those sales, and you not recruiting, why would they? You are the example. You are the leader of your team. Okay, they have to see you doing it too. Okay, because trust me, teaching is my nature. I was a teacher. I'm real great at telling others what they should be doing. But if I'm not doing it myself, my business is not growing. Okay, so just remember that as you guys are starting to onboard your new consultants, really think about what kind of success you want to have them start with so that they can feel what success looks like and you can start them going strong. Okay, so because I've really been doing it with my new, and I had a call with Carol Ledoux, our national, on Monday, and I told her, I said, Carol, for the first time, I feel like I'm doing enough virtual parties now that I finally have them figured out where I feel like I can instruct others on how to do it. Because for a long time, cooking shows were my focus, and I was only doing a few virtual parties. So then when new people came on, I never felt really strong in how I made them start out strong because I didn't even necessarily know how to make myself strong. But the more that I'm doing them, I'm figuring out a system, okay, a system of what I feel like works. And then I can share that with them, and they're running with the same system and having success now. Okay, so if you don't feel like you have a system in place of when to do stuff, I can share with any of you the system that I've been doing that, has been working, but find what works for you. You have to have a system in place and know what you're doing, and you have to be able to teach other people how to do it. So if you don't have a system, it's really hard, to help others, okay? So I wanted to say that about Kayla. There was something else that I wanted to. What else was I sure I do? Conference, guys. It goes up in price on the 15th. Okay, so if you're planning on going to conference, know that it does go up at that point. Okay, so it's going to be more expensive after that. So, I think that we have plenty of rooms. Tony, do you remember how long we have to get rid of rooms if we need?
I think we have to do it by July 1st.
July 1st, okay, that's what I was thinking.
My 2 rooms are full, and I think Christy has one more person that wants to go. So we need a spot for that person.
Okay. That's what I'm hoping the next. Yes.
I have a room and I don't have any roommates right now.
Okay. Awesome.
Perfect.
So, and I have 2 rooms, and I'm still trying to figure out how many of my personal team are going. I do have at least 4, but I may have enough to fill another room too. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So you guys kind of have the next couple this week, the rest of this week and next, to really kind of figure out, who is going. And your new people that have just signed up, know that they are still able to sign up. Okay, so don't leave them out, because one of mine that just signed up, she is super excited about the possibility of going. And because she had that success last month, she had those sales, she qualified, she got all this stuff, and she's super excited now. And so don't throw them out, as possibilities as well.
Hey, Jeannie also has a room, and I saw her post today that she didn't have anybody in her room right now either.
I thought she said does she not have anyone?
Well, she said she still had room for somebody in it, so I can't say no.
Yeah.
I think I still have room for one more in my room.
Okay, awesome. So we will find out, kind of the rest of this week from your people, and then we can kind of start throwing around, who still has spots and all that jazz. So
I think the only one from my team that's going is Nancy.
okay, does she have a room yet?
I have not talked to her, so I need to get with her on that.
Okay, yeah, because we'll figure that out. So maybe what we can do is we can not on Team PC Hotshots, because I'm already some people on there. On the director page, please post if you have people that don't have a spot yet, and we can kind of figure out where would be the best place for them.
Yeah, I put a post on my thing asking who all was going or planning on going. Nobody responded, and the only reason I knew Nancy was because you had tagged her in the already registered. So.
Post, yes. Yeah, and that's hard too, because you guys know I can't see 4th gen. So it's hard, trying to keep up with who has. I'm going to stop third party.